done a pretty good job defending against the most feared receiver in the league.
Okay, as you see the isolation coming up on Mervin Fernandez, he's just going to run down and look towards the inside and then spin to the outside, hoping to get the defensive back off balance. As Roy DeWalt throws the ball back out to him, Bennett does an outstanding job in covering Mervin Fernandez one-on-one.
Second and 6. DeWalt's pass complete to Armour, but he's stopped well short of a first down again by Roy Bennett. Bennett came across to catch Armour inside.
That's about as well as you can cover a man. Let's face it, Roy Bennett is a corner. He's usually thinking of going deep outside. Second year from Jackson State. Had a great year last year with 5 interceptions. The guy tried to cut underneath him, and he came and made the tackle for a 3 or 4 yard gain. That's great defense.
Again, the BC Lions line up in punt formation on 3rd and 2. A direct snap to John Henry White. To Mervin Fernandez. They got the first down.
Well, you see John Henry White, they snap the ball directly to him. Now they have an option. John Henry White will try to cut in and run. He can't. He pitches to Fernandez and then makes a big block on Delbert Fowler, and that allows Fernandez to get the first down. We've seen a little bit of everything tonight, haven't we?
Have you seen this much action from different plays this early in the season before?
Well, you know, it doesn't surprise me with these two teams because they are known for that. Kel Murphy is unbelievable with the trick plays, and so is Matthews.
First and 10, the Lions, they are at the Winnipeg 34. The handoff to Keevan Jenkins. He spins away from the first tackle and fights his way inside the 30-yard line. He is stopped there by Wiley Turner.
You know, it's funny watching the different styles of Keevan Jenkins right there, 23, and Willard Reeves. Last year, Keevan Jenkins had 964 yards, and you know, only a knee injury kept him from getting that 1,000 yards. I remember a game we did in Toronto last year when he rushed for 206 yards. He is quick.
This will be the final play of the opening quarter. Second and 5 for the Lions. DeWalt hands it out there for Carinci. Incomplete. He was covered by Wiley Turner. And there's a penalty flag down on the other side of the field at about the 15-yard line.
I tell you, Wiley Turner did a great job because Jan Carinci would have got that football. I think just as that ball hit Carinci's arm, it was stripped. Wiley Turner got it.
Quarter time. Well, there is no penalty. That is the end of the first quarter.
You know, we have yet to have anybody not be happy with the new football. Everybody we've talked to through the preseason and then again here are very happy with it.
Paul Osbaldiston will attempt the three-pointer. It is good, and the BC Lions on the first play of the second quarter take a 3-point lead.
Well, it was important for the BC Lions to come up with some points here established by their offense. They've been sputtering earlier in the first part of the first quarter, and now they were able, with the help of a couple of penalties, to get down the field and score 3 points. And I think that they need to establish themselves better to keep the defense off the field some.
21-20. Toronto over Hamilton in the other CFL encounter tonight. And of course, those two teams are playing for a trophy of their own this year, the Harold Ballard Bowl. 3 games between the two arch rivals, the Ticats and the Argonauts. CFL held a press conference a week ago and announced that that trophy would be presented. Harold Ballard at the time said the only way that Toronto will ever get it is if they come over to Ivor-Wynne Stadium and steal it. Well, they've got the edge right now.
Well, you know, Harold says just about everything, but you know, there is a heck of a rivalry between Hamilton and Toronto that I never really knew about, but now living down east, they just actually hate one another. I mean, it's hard to believe it. You know, this is a game.
It's not quite hate. It's a great, mild dislike for each other. Let's put it that way.
Osbaldiston kicking off. And Sampson on the return for Winnipeg. First up to about the 40-yard line.
That's what I'd like to see in a running back or a kick receiver. Darrell Sampson, the rookie second-round draft choice out of York, got the ball, got right up in behind those white jerseys, and went straight ahead. He wasn't trying to fake anybody. He was running straight ahead, gets an excellent field position to about the 39-yard line.
The BC Lions scored their touchdown 56 seconds into the opening quarter. They get a field goal 3 seconds into the second quarter, and now Tom Clements starts the Winnipeg drive from the 39-yard line, throwing out into the flat, incomplete. That pass was intended for Sean Kehoe. He was being covered by Kevin Konar.
You know, Kevin Konar has been underrated with the BC Lions until this past season in 1985. He was an All-Canadian. He had 5 interceptions, 5 sacks. Guy's had a heck of a season. You know, good career.
Well, 2 of the outstanding linebackers in the CFL are in action tonight. One of them is number 40, James Parker. Here's how Chris Walby handles him.
Well, when you're Chris Walby's size at 6'7" and 290 pounds, you can take the charge out of anybody. That was a good job of blocking.
Second down, Clements is in trouble. Looks, finds a receiver, first down, Winnipeg, as he went to Jerome Erdman at the 53 of the BC Lions. That was James Parker who was after Clements.
Well, as you see, as Tom Clements rolls out to his right, Parker is putting the containment, but he gets caught up inside. And Tommy gets to the outside of him and picks up a receiver. And once you get out there, you have enough time to look upfield and find your secondary receivers, and Tom was able to complete the pass.
Well, we've been saying for years, nobody throws better on the run than Tom Clements, and he proved it right there.
Almost a mix-up there as Clements, in attempting to move that team quickly over the ball, collided with Willard Reeves. He was throwing out into the flat for Tuttle, but he was bumped by Reeves, and he was fortunate that he didn't lose control of the ball right there.
Well, no doubt it was a mix-up, and a back will never go across a quarterback's face when he's going to throw a pass, and he did, and that takes his vision away. Plus, as you say, he bumped him, and you're asking for trouble. He's fortunate not to have that intercepted.
Clements has hit on 6 of 11 pass attempts for 86 yards. He'll put it in the air again. Throws complete to Willard Reeves. He's taken out of bounds at the 46 of the Lions, about 2 yards short of a first down. Stopped by Darnell Class.
Well, the defensive back did an excellent job that time in preventing him from getting the first down just by changing his coverage and coming up and playing the short and picking up the back as he came out of the backfield. Class did a good job in making the hit on Willard Reeves.
Well, I think they're going to punt this football. You know, BC faked the punt. Let's see. You never know what Winnipeg's going to do.
Well, they are looking at a 2nd and 3 situation. Bob Cameron stands at the 50-yard line. He'll kick it. It's a high boot into the corner. Darnell Class will not run it back. An excellent kick by Cameron. They mark that out of bounds at the 4.5-yard line. So the BC Lions are backed up deep in their own zone. Bob Cameron accepting congratulations after that fine kick with 12:53 left in the half.
The Lions tough right here in Vancouver. For some reason, they give them fits out here.
1st and 10 from the 4.5. Lions leading by a score of 10-7. DeWalt has Fernandez over. He can't make the catch. There were 3 Winnipeg defenders over there. Scott Flagle, Roy Bennett, and Ken Haley.
Okay, as you see, Mervyn Fernandez is just running a streak up the field. The pass is a little short, and he has to slow down. And as I said before, if he can't catch the ball, he makes sure that the defensive back can't get the interception. And you build up a lot of confidence going to a receiver like that. And in this case, Roy DeWalt chose to throw it to Mervyn Fernandez in that situation.
But what tremendous concentration by Fernandez. As he was falling, he almost made the reception on the deflection. DeWalt has time. He's got Armour open for a first down at the 25.
Well, it's really good to see now that Roy DeWalt is not afraid to be down there at his own end zone, taking a pass and throwing it from his end zone. Here's the end zone look of Roy DeWalt throwing down to Ned Armour, who is an excellent receiver with a great deal of speed who will complement Mervyn Fernandez.
At college at San Diego State, Armour was an outstanding track man. He has jumping ability, and you certainly saw evidence of that as he went high to grab that Roy DeWalt throw. Armour again at the 35-yard line. He spins, and he'll have another BC first down.
You know, it's funny with Ned Armour. Reading his statistics from 1985, I don't think people realize that he only caught one pass in the entire 85 regular season. But did they turn him loose in the playoffs or what? 6 against Winnipeg in the final, 3 in the Grey Cup against Hamilton, and 2 touchdowns. So maybe he is for real.
They had no alternative but to turn him loose in the playoffs because Mervyn Fernandez was out of the lineup with that injury. He has caught 2 in succession to move the Lions from deep in their own zone out to the 35-yard line. Again, DeWalt was looking for Armour. This one falls incomplete. And Darrell Patterson was going after the BC quarterback and sent him flying just as he released.
Cal Murphy was saying yesterday he felt their team speed was improved an awful lot with Delbert Fowler coming into that linebacker position. And the surprising thing is James West going to the inside. He's always been an outside linebacker in his career up here. But I'll tell you one thing, he's a one-man wrecking crew.
Second and 10. The ball is up to 37. 10:52 remaining in the half. Armour grabs it on the run. First down, or at least very close to it, hauled down by David Shaw.
Well, that time Roy DeWalt lined up in the shotgun position, and what that does for him is allow him to see all that's happening. As you look here on the end zone isolated camera here, Roy DeWalt is here, and he sees the blitz coming, and he knows he has one-on-one coverage and no underneath help by the linebackers, and he hits Ned Armour.
The reason there was no underneath, you saw who was the guy putting the pressure on him was Darrell Patterson. So when he can't be everywhere, if he's rushing the quarterback, then he can't be back in the middle.
Reveals a first down, and the Lions have done a pretty good job of moving that football. They started at their own 4.5, and they are now at the 47-yard line. BC in front by a score of 10-7. First game of the season for both teams. Again, out of that shotgun formation, swinging it out to Keevan Jenkins. He's unable to get away from Delbert Fowler.
For about the first time tonight, Winnipeg has just dropped all their linebackers out of there. They didn't put any pressure on them, so DeWalt has no alternative but to throw to Keevan Jenkins swinging out of the backfield. Then they come up and make the hit.
Delbert Fowler was with Winnipeg in their Grey Cup triumph in '84. He opted to go the free agency route in 1985. He signed with the Green Bay Packers, but wound up not playing in the National Football League. Winnipeg was quite delighted to get him back for this '86 campaign. Penalty flag as DeWalt fires over the middle. It's incomplete, intended for Mervyn Fernandez. Ken Haley was covering.
Fans didn't like that. They thought that Haley interfered with him, but that was excellent defense. He went right up and knocked that football away.
Procedure the call against the Lions. It naturally will be declined by Winnipeg as the Blue Bombers force BC into a punting situation.
I think Roy DeWalt was a little upset, too, as now we see Mervyn Fernandez comes over the middle. We'll watch the coverage, and it was just good defensive coverage. As the ball got there to the receiver's hands, he just stripped him and knocked it down.
Decline. Third down.
You know, Don, you were saying that Winnipeg's going to rush the punter, Merv Fernandez, because of Pasaglia not being in there. Let's see if they slow down a little bit because of that fake punt.
High kick again by Fernandez. Nealis fields it at the 23. And he is stopped at the 29-yard line. It was Jamie Buice who was downfield to make contact with the Winnipeg punt returner.
You know, after this game, Lou Pasaglia may have a hard time getting back there in his punting duties.
I don't think so.
I wouldn't bet against him either. I tell you what, if he can't make this club, there's only 8 others might want it.
Well, Merv Fernandez gets tremendous height on that football.
Well, he sure does. One thing about it, you get good coverage. When you kick it high, your team will get down there.
interception. And Clemens had absolutely no chance to set up.
Well, he was trying to throw what I think was a quick out to the outside receiver, and he took a short drop.
Well, you talk about hitting something on the run. Watch Kevin Konar. He gets a head start. Watch him. He times it perfectly. Just as the ball snapped, he hits the gap. And I'll tell you, Clemens never had a chance.
Absolutely no opportunity for Tom Clemens. And as you said, Konar on the dead run, timing that perfectly, almost as though he knew what the snap count was.
He must have been in the huddle. He heard Clemens say, on one.
Instant field position for the BC Lions as they lead by 3. Roy DeWalt will try and get more into the end zone. Incomplete. He was looking for Jan Carinci, covered by Ken Haley.
Well, the Bombers came with a safety blitz. Scott Flagel coming up the middle. That means you definitely have no help anywhere back there. And boy, I'll tell you, it's just a good thing it was overthrown.
We talked earlier about both teams going into their bag of tricks offensively. Both sides do a lot of things differently defensively.
Don Matthews was talking about that yesterday. He felt they're a little bit nicked. He felt they picked up some injuries against the Stampeders, which he said in that preseason game it was the most physical game they had seen. And he said what they want to do is play to win, not play not to lose. And there's a big difference because that's attitude.
2nd and 10. DeWalt has time. Oh, in and out of the hands of Mervyn Fernandez.
Well, even the good receivers can make mistakes. And as he was beginning to catch that ball, Mervyn Fernandez had his mind up to go the rest of the way into the end zone.
Merv was probably thinking, I'll catch this, plant that inside foot, spin to the outside, and I'll be in the end zone before they know it. There's Kevin Konar. Had a great year last year. And I'll tell you, as we said, he must have been in the huddle on that one to get that field position.
Since joining the Lions from the University of British Columbia, Kevin Konar has never missed a football game in the uniform of the BC Lions. Here's the rookie, Osbaldiston, with his 2nd field goal attempt. He hooked it wide. It goes for a single point. So with 8:15 remaining in this first half, the score is now the British Columbia Lions 11 and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 7. We'll be back right after this.
One of the best of them.
Movement at the line of scrimmage. Parker, I believe, was offside. Clements goes down as he was being chased by Benny Jones. But there was movement at the line of scrimmage, and unless he was drawn offside, I think James Parker jumped ahead of that ball being snapped.
Well, I think, you know, in the case where you have Tom Clemens running out the way he ran out of that situation, you got to just get down. Don't take the extra hit and lose a valuable quarterback like Tommy Clemens.
You had an interesting talk prior to the game, Ron, with Roy DeWalt about that very topic.
Well, you remember, Roy came up here. He was drafted out of college as a running back.
Outside, BC number 40, first down.
And Roy came in the league like every other young quarterback, running around, looking to run the football. But he picked up a couple injuries, and as he said to us, it was beneficial. Those injuries really helped him because it forced him to stand in there and learn how to play quarterback, and he's done a great job of that.
1st and 5. Clemens throwing deep, intended for James Murphy. It's intercepted by Darnell Clash. Look out when this man gets a couple of blocks. He is unable to escape Perry Tuttle. The intended receiver, James Murphy, tripped. Darnell Clash made a sensational diving interception.
Well, you know, you're going to see a lot of catches, but this is an excellent catch by Darnell Clash. The ball is there. He lays out, makes the catch. Now, watch out, because he had 9 interceptions last year, and as you mentioned, Don, when he gets the football in his hands, he's exciting to watch. And, boy, I thought he was going to go a little bit further than he did.
A big turnover for the BC Lions as they have it 1st and 10 now at their own 44. They lead by a score of 11-7. 7:14 remaining in the half. A handoff to Kevan Jenkins. He bowls his way to the 50-yard line. That will be close to a 6-yard gain. Scott Flagel came in to make the tackle.
You know, well, after a big reception like that, interception from Darnell Clash, and running around the field the way he was doing, now you can see him on the bench just trying to suck up some more oxygen to get his breath back.
2nd and 4. The ball just shy of the 50-yard line. From the shotgun, Roy DeWalt being chased and caught by Ty Jones, and he gets away. Now he's caught again and dropped for additional yardage back at the 30-yard line.
Well, those Winnipeg linebackers never give you a break. They just keep coming. Once they made the first stop of him, they just kept coming until they finally got to Roy DeWalt.
I harken back to the comment you made at the start of our telecast. You can knock Tyrone Jones off his feet, but he'll come back at you again.
That's just what I was going to say. He made the hit on DeWalt, looked like he was going to bring him down. He was on the ground, DeWalt escaped, and he got back up and got him again. That's quickness. Got him from a free agent camp. Can you believe that? That's like stealing. He is something.
Merv Fernandez stands back at the 18-yard line for this 3rd down punt. Again, a towering boot. Nealis will field it at the 40. And Nealis is stopped at the 43-yard line. Penalty flag on the play as there is some pushing and shoving after Nealis went down, and the Winnipeg player in the midst of all that activity is...
Well, thank you, Don. It's been a great association with the BC Lions and with the Canadian Football League, and in a way I'm sad to leave, but the opportunity I think is a great one for me, and maybe it's time to leave Vancouver and try something else.
Well, you caught a lot of people by surprise, because usually an appointment such as that is preceded by a certain amount of speculation, but this one, you told me tonight, came right out of the blue.
Yes, I was in training camp for a day, and Tex Schramm called and offered me the job, and so I went down and talked to him. It took me a week to make the decision, and that was it.
Well, for someone who has been associated with the BC Lions as long as you have, it must have been a difficult decision to make. Penalty flags on this play as Clements was attempting to throw. James Parker was the man who was pressuring Tom Clements. Bob, a couple of things in the CFL this year that are different. One, the expanded schedule, 18 games, and the revised playoff format. Your comments on that?
Well, I think the 18-game schedule was something the league needed. You know, the preseason games, we weren't drawing well, so we have probably 42,000 here tonight. In our 2nd preseason game last year, we had 27, so that says something. Now we have the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in here. The playoff format, I think it's interesting, and I think it had to be changed. I'm in favor of the East-West Grey Cup, the continuation of that, but I think we had to see some form of a change in the playoff structure.
2nd down play as Tom Clements throws deep. Incomplete. The first time tonight he's gone to Joe Poplawski.
They've had him covered pretty well. Joe's been trying to work inside, but Clements has had trouble throwing the ball inside. Most of his success has been outside to guys like Tuttle, Murphy, and so on. So inside, Erdman or Poplawski haven't caught a ball tonight.
Bobby Ackles, we thank you very much for joining us here in the press box, and we know that every Canadian Football League fan wishes you well in your new job. Any insight as to who your replacement's going to be here?
No, not yet, Don. They're working on it, believe me. A lot of applications.
Bob, I just would like to take the opportunity to thank you for everything you've done for us. We come into BC, you make us feel right at home, and we hate to see you go. But you've been with this club a long time.
Well, I appreciate that, Ron, and it's a great association with you and Don and Chuck over the years, and I'll be following the CFL very closely, I'll tell you that.
Well, I know you will, Bobby, and again, good luck as the BC Lions will scrimmage 1st and 10 back at their own 9-yard line following that 3rd down punt by Bob Cameron. 4:46 is the time remaining in this first half. The Lions in front by a score of 11-7. Comes wide to the left. Merton Fernandez up to the right. Handoff to Kevan Jenkins. He's caught from behind by Stan Mikolas. Playing that nose guard position, he showed some pretty good speed to chase down a running back.
I'll tell you, he did. He got through there in a hurry. He got around that center and into the backfield about as fast as you can go. Nice to see him get the opportunity to play. He had a good year last year in his first season as the nose guard with the Bombers. He probably feels much more at home this year. At least he shows he does.
He had a memorable Grey Cup game in Edmonton in 1984. He scored a touchdown after scooping up a fumble. Second and 15 for the Lions. They are at the 4-yard line. Winnipeg going after Roy DeWalt. He got the pass away, incomplete. Intended for Jan Carinci, and Carinci was being covered by Ken Haley.
The pass was very, very well thrown for the pressure that DeWalt was under. He had the Bombers collapse that pocket around him. He had nowhere to go, and the guy that was right up in his face at the end was Stan McCallus again. That's excellent defense.
Okay, as you see Roy DeWalt drop back here, he's not getting the normal 8-yard depth, and the pocket, as Ronnie said, is beginning to collapse right on you. You try to get rid of that ball before you get tackled and lost, before you get a safety.
3:34 remaining in the half as Fernandez will be kicking from the end zone. A low snap. Fernandez, again a high kick. Not a great deal of distance on it. It's fielded by Kevin Nealon. Penalty flag on the play, and I should think so. I'm sure that no yard will be charged against Kevin Konar.
We said earlier that because of the height that Fernandez gets, if we get a chance to see it on a replay, if not, we're looking for it next time, because it's happened every time. Those orange jerseys are surrounding Kevin Nealon and the Winnipeg receivers. Because of the height, they are able to get down there. There's nowhere to run.
3:16 the time remaining in this first half. And take another look at those orange jerseys.
Well, they're everywhere. I mean, he's going to make the catch. They're a little too close, but count the orange jerseys that have him surrounded. That's coverage. That's what coaches like.
What happens is with the height of the ball and not being so deep, the receivers are down there a lot quicker than they normally would get on a cut that was kicked a little further down the field.
They called Nelson Martin, but they could have thrown the flag on Kevin Konar as well.
Great field position to start, isn't it?
Listen to the noise. Penalty flag on the play. Clemens is forced out of bounds. He was chased to the sidelines by Walter Ballard. There was a penalty flag at the line of scrimmage.
Well, that time the BC Lions came with a blitz, and Tommy read it and just rolled outside to the outside of the pocket and looked upfield.
The flag against Winnipeg, a procedure call against the Blue Bombers.
Then he did one more thing that a good veteran quarterback will do. He ran out of bounds and didn't take the hit.
Legal procedure number 71, Winnipeg. Decline. Second down.
Joe Poplawski moved prior to that ball being snapped. Randy Faby has entered the ball game at a slot back position with Jerome Erdman going to the bench. Clements only once has been able to throw the ball to Poplawski. And with 2:57 remaining, we have a timeout here at the stadium at BC Place with Winnipeg trailing by 4. Well, back at the stadium at BC Place on second down, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers attempting a pass. It was deflected, and Kevin Konar comes up with an